Welcome to the first episode ever of Football Roundup on Randy Silver TV with yours truly, Randy Silver. I'm so excited to be here with you today and bring you the inaugural episode of everything you need to know about football. We're here today to talk about pregame, postgame, transfer updates, drama, everything in between, so that way you know what's happening in the global world of football. We will have a focus on UEFA, which is European football, but Messi does something in the US, you know we're going to give you that. International highlights, you bet it. So we're going to be talking everything you need to know for football. Today, we're going to dive in and have one subject matter. This will grow over the time as we get more episodes out, but we wanted to focus on something that's coming up that's really big. So let's go ahead and dive into it for you. And what will that be? It is the 2023 FA Community Shield. So this is going to be a whole preview show about the Community Shield. The Community Shield is played in England, and it's between two teams to start the season. So now we're going to dive into everything around the Community Shield. I gave you a quick tidbit about who's playing, how they get there, the records against each other, the history of the Community Shield, and so much more. I can't wait to get into it. Please subscribe and like if this is the content for you. So we're going to dive right in and not waste any more time. What is the FA Community Shield? It's the inaugural game for England to start off the new season of football. There's no actual records that come from this. You do win the trophy that you see in the picture here, which is cool, bragging rights. But the goals don't count for someone's career. The wins don't count for someone's career, the team's career, excuse me. The same type of game is played in countries throughout all of Europe. There's also one here in the US. So it's a great way to get the fan support, and it's a way to honor the teams who won who made the Community Shield this time. So how do you get into the Community Shield is probably the next great question. So let's go ahead and answer that question for you. And who is in the Community Shield is the 2022 EPL champion versus the 2022 FA Cup champion. So you have to be the champion of the regular season in the English Premier League, and you have to win the inter-season tournament, the FA Cup. US sports don't normally have an inter-season tournament. The NBA is trying to bring one in by doing an in-season tournament starting this year in late fall. They're mimicking that after Europe. In England, there's 3 competitions you can play in. There's the English Premier League, or whatever is your regular season, depending what division you're in. The FA Cup, which is all teams in England, so you battle to see who's the best team in England, no matter of division. And then there's the League Cup, which is the top 3 teams in England. So you have the opportunity to win 3 different trophies. And there was a lot of historical relevance to these trophies. Teams who aren't as good as, say, the big 5 that you know of, Man City, Man U, Arsenal, etc. This is their chance to win a trophy. And these smaller towns really dive into these competitions and put all their fan backing, all their weight when they get to go against a giant. And when they win, it's national news. So there's a lot of backing history here, and that's what the NBA is trying to replicate. So that's what the FA Cup champion is versus the EPL champion. So the question is, who are going to be the 2 teams? Who's the EPL champion? Who's the FA Cup champion? So let's show you who the actual people are playing in the competition. If you saw the early preview, then you're going to know who it is. But actually, if we dive into it, then the answer is Manchester City versus Arsenal. They're playing Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern. It's 4 p.m. BST, 8 a.m. Pacific. Man City is the blue, Arsenal is the red. So how did they get here? Well, who won what competition? If you don't remember last season or you're just new to football, let's dive into actually how they got to where they're at and how they got to this competition. So let's show you what that takes. What takes to get here, actually, we're going to go take a little pivot really quick, is the history of the Community Shield. The past 30 winners. Arsenal has won 8 times in the past 30 years. City has won 3 times the past 30 years. United has won the most, Manchester United, with 11. Although Manchester United and Arsenal haven't won the league a lot lately, and that's something we're going to talk about in a little bit, they're able to get in it through the FA Cup, which is how they got in there and win. So Arsenal versus City, in terms of playing this time, Arsenal has the most wins going into it, which, does that make them the favor? Probably not. If City just had a really good last season or past couple seasons, which if you're not a big fan, maybe you don't know how they did. So let's dive into actually, again, how did City and Arsenal get here? Who won the league? Who won the FA Cup? Did someone win both? Who knows? So let's actually show you how we got here. Manchester City won the EPL last year. So automatic bid straight into the Community Shield. This was their third EPL in a row. Three-peat. 1, 2, 3. The U.S. women's national team is trying to do that in the World Cup right now. No national team has ever won the World Cup 3 in a row. Most is 2. Brazil did 2 back-to-back. U.S. women's national team 2 back-to-back. No one's won 3. For them to win 3, it's happened a couple times in the EPL. Man U did it, I'm pretty sure. Hopefully I'm right on that one. Man City just did it. They've actually won 5 of the past 6. So they are definitely in dynasty mode. Okay, so they won the first one. Then who won the FA Cup last year? So that way, hey, okay, they're going to play them? It has to be Arsenal, right? Wrong. Manchester City won the FA Cup again last year as well. By winning the FA Cup last year, they won both. So they can't play each other. How did Arsenal get in? We'll talk about that in a second. Them winning the FA Cup happened after they won the EPL. The FA Cup is the last game of the season. So the EPL was already known who was going to win. Man City won with like 2 games to go based off of points. But regardless, if it went down the last regular game of the season, again, there's no playoffs in European football. So regular season, who has the most most points overall wins. Then that's it. So they had known. They went to FA Cup. They played Manchester United, their arch rivals across town, in Wembley, packed in front of 80,000 yelling fans, half blue, half red. Man City came out on top with the victory. That gave them 2 trophies, which is impressive. That's a lot to win. They've done 2 trophies in a row. So could they do it? Could they make the treble? Could they get that 3rd trophy and win it all? You betcha. They went out and they beat Inter Milan in Champions League to complete the treble. Their head coach, Pep, this was his 2nd time winning 3 trophies in 1 season. He did it with Barcelona about 10 years ago, and he did it with Man City. This was Man City's first time ever winning the Champions League. They worked so hard for this for so many years. There's some financial fair play issues that we'll not get into today, but help with that potentially, depending how it's being found. This was the trophy missing from the trophy case. So they were able to come out on top and win the Champions League, the champions, which is what they wanted so bad. They were missing from their trophy case. And with that win, because of that win, you know what that makes them? Drum roll, please. That makes them the treble winners, which is just absolutely impressive. It's only happened a couple times. Barcelona named once, and they celebrated really hard. They were partying for days off this because they got it. But that's the past. Now we're looking forward to the future. And the future starts in the Community Shield. So who are they going to play in the Community Shield if they won everything already? Well, as we already said, it's going to be Arsenal. So how is it Arsenal then? Why is it Arsenal then? It is Arsenal because Arsenal came in 2nd in the EPL standing. Arsenal was in 1st for the majority of the season. The last 15 games of the season, they ran out of steam. They started tying. They lost a couple games when they had a massive winning streak. It fell off, and they just looked like they ran out of gas. So they put up a valiant effort. They're a young, rebuilding team. They definitely overachieved from where they thought they would be at this point of the season in terms of the growth as a team. So this year, they're really looking to try to get that first spot. They qualify for Champions League, which is massive. They haven't been there in a long time. And they get the opportunity to show we're going to start 2023-2024 season on the right foot, win the Community Shield against Man City, who we lost to in the regular season last year. So this will be a massive, massive opportunity for Arsenal to say, we're here, plant the flag, and try to move forward. However, Man City's coming in as champ, and that is something that, they're coming as champ, which is not a thing that many people can say. Arsenal's 2-0 against Manchester City in the Community Shield. We all remember that crazy game that demolished them in 1934, 4-0. That game was wild. Go watch those highlights. And more recently, may have seen that game. 2014, Arsenal won 3-0. So Arsenal have the number in the Community Shield. Again, this is more of a glorified friendly. So does it mean a lot? Probably not. However, it's a good barometer for how the season can turn out moving forward. Now let's look at the past 30 winners of the FA Cup. Arsenal's won 7 times. City's won 3. The 7 wins by Arsenal ties for the most ever in FA Cup in the past 30 years. That is tied with Chelsea, who has 7 as well. So although they're not winning the league, they are still bringing trophies home to their fans. Not the trophy they want. They want that EPL, but it's good to have silverware at the end of the year. Gives you a morale boost and hopes moving forward that you'll be able to be successful. So now that we have all this history out of the way, let's go ahead and look at how do we think that we're going to do on Sunday. What's the game going to turn out? Statistics. Let's look into all the information for you. When you dive into just Pep versus Arteta, so head coaches, Arteta had 1-1 against his teacher, Pep. Arteta was a assistant coach on Man City for 4, 5, 6 years, and they're Pep. They are great friends still. They love each other, but when it comes to head-to-head as coaches, it's not a battle. Pep has 8 wins. There's no draws against them, so congratulations to Pep here. He knows his number. Obviously, Arteta took a lot of tactics to Arsenal from Man City, so it's a very tactical game when they play, usually low scoring. It's been a little bit higher lately. Last season, there were a couple 3-4 goal games, but they know each other a lot, so tactically, it's a very, very tight game more often than not. So what does that mean moving forward? How are we going to decide Sunday? Let's dive into how the summer changed these teams from when they played last year. Let's start with City. City signed 2 players for $108 million. One's a midfielder, Kovacic. The other, Josko, is a defender. These were both highly prized. Why do they need these players? Because City had some turnover at the back that they had to take care of as well. You can see all the people they left from a team that just won 3 trophies. That is a lot to have to be able to bring back. So they're going to be looking at how can they still maintain the level, and they always want to take it up a notch. Key leavings here is Ikai and their midfielder. Here's their captain, so it's a tough loss there. Riyad Mahrez went to Saudi Arabia. They're pushing out a bunch of money. A lot of the people are youngsters out. So there is still a good core there. Their defense should be really solid, but that is tough to lose from your 3 treble team, that many players. On Arsenal's side, these are the players coming in. A lot of them are end of a loan, so they're back on the team, so the team's a bit bloated. They still may be loaned back out, but at this current time, they're with the team. You may recognize, if you're an American fan, Boulogne. He is the new American striker. He had the opportunity to play for England. He transitioned to the US, which is great for us. Hopefully he can stay at Arsenal and get more playing time. If you look at the people who came in, the big one there is Declan Rice. He came in from West Ham, center defensive mid, $100 million price fee. The big signing, broke a lot of records. He's going to be big for Arsenal, helping them stop a lot of goals. Back half of the season, they get up a lot of goals, and that's why they couldn't stay with City. To assure it, Rice will come in. So if these who came in, then who left? Who did Arsenal lose that could be a big loss for them? Let's dive into that for you. Arsenal lost 3 players. The biggest one is going to be Xhaka. He was with the club the longest. He had a love-hate relationship with the fans, but when he was on the field, he was someone you want on your side. Some of the players wasn't afraid to put a tackle in, was a good person inside the locker room, good teammate. You know, he had the ups and downs with the fans because one time he threw the wristband down, he got booed by the fans. His performances were up and down. Towards the end of this last year, he was playing really good. So this will be a miss, but it seems like they have enough signings to come in to try to be able to be successful. So with everything coming in, now, what is the prospective lineup for both teams in going into this game? First, you have Manchester City. So you can see here that their lineup, they have the big boy up top, Erling Haaland. That's all you need. He'll get you 30 goals. It's impressive. You have Grealish still out there in the midfield. Again, you lost Higuain, so it's going to be a big loss. You still have your boy Kevin De Bruyne, who is one of the top midfielders in the world, and the tactic of John Stones, a defender coming from the back, playing as a center defensive mid, going back and forth, is there. So the lineup looks very similar, just plug and play, which is Pep's thing he always likes to do. Here's Arsenal's. You can see that it's probably a different formation with who they brought in. You're going to have Declan Rice in there as your center defensive mid, really helping out. Gabriel Jesus, their main striker, is hurt, so he probably won't play in the Community Shield. unfortunate for him, but he's a big player. He used to play for City, loves going back against City and trying to be successful against his old team and they show him left him lead. So here are your two lineups moving into the game. Now, it's time. We gave you the preview. We gave you the history. Would love to hear your thoughts on who you think is going to win. Please comment below and, of course, subscribe here. We're going to go ahead and give you a full match recap when the game is over on Sunday. If you like this stuff, please do subscribe. Again, we're going to be bringing you a bunch of new football content every week. It could be multiple times a week and maybe once a week. I'm in sportscasting school, so I want to make sure focus on that. But this is my passion. I love this. Hopefully this grows into a career. And I want to interact with y'all. So please, if you have any ideas for videos, want to do research, create stuff, I would love to do it. Randy Silver TV, we done. FA Community Shield, we done. Thank you so much for watching today. We will see you when the game is over. Deuces.